Hi, everybody. Welcome to another live episode of Something Super Spiritual. Look who I found in my waiting room. Cheryl
It was.
Murphy, welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
I love seeing you again, Jeffrey, and it's so much fun. Thanks for having me on your show.
It's always great to see with you. It's always great to hang out with you.
Uh,
And who do we have here? We have Keith. Hi, Keith.
yes.
Maria, Evan, Sarah from Ireland.
Oh, how beautiful.
I love Ireland.
I can't wait to go to Ireland. I've never been.
So beautiful.
And
Um, so
yeah, and
guys,
mhm.
oh, go ahead. What,
I was
Cheryl?
just going to say one of the people in the audience, Evan, says, "What a beautiful intro." And he is so right. It is just such a beautiful intro you have, Jeffrey.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Jason Tempinski did that for me, and
Okay.
he did a beautiful job.
You
Absolutely.
really did. You
Yeah.
really did.
So you guys, we're gonna talk a little bit about spirit guides first, and then we're gonna roll into some readings. So go ahead and post some questions out here. Hi, Lynn. And we'll get to those in a little bit. So I wanted to talk a little bit about spirit guides because there was an interesting experience I had yesterday watching John Edward. He was live on his app called Evolve,
Mhm.
and he's always so fun to watch. He's so chill. He's so calm, cool, collected, and he had about 300 people in this room, and they were all making comments. Hi, Vivian. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Jerry. And there was one lady that just would not stop, and she kept hammering him with questions. What's my spirit guide's name? What's my spirit guide's name? What's my spirit guide's name? And it got me to thinking, for me personally, I I believe that the spirit guides, as closely as they work with us, it's such a personal relationship
Mhm.
that we should be the ones to sit in silence with that intention, right, Cheryl? And ask, can you tell me your name? And this lady would not stop, and she started to get rude, and all about the spirit guides. What's your take with the spirit
Man,
guides, Cheryl?
that's not good. And just to let you know, Jeffrey, you don't know this yet, but as you were watching John Edward yesterday live, I was watching John Edward yesterday on a recording. He did a podcast. I think it's called Celebrity Drop. It was an hour and a half interview. So isn't that interesting? We were both watching him yesterday.
Yeah.
John Edward. Hello, John. What a wonderful person. Um, and as far as spirit guides go, and he probably had a lot of patience with that person, I guess, right? He
He
probably,
really did. He really did. The others in the room didn't.
yeah. That's how it goes. Well, spirit guides are amazing, and I have some great stories to share with you. But spirit guides come into our lives for a reason, a season, a lifetime, even
Mhm.
before we even become in this planet, even before we come in a human body, so to speak.
Agreed.
And I believe we are also, get this, spirit guides for other people. I do. I believe in some way we can actually, our spirit in some way can be a guide for others.
Mhm.
But I'll tell you, I think spirit guides, when you're working on a new project or you have a new hobby or you have something of interest that you're beginning to do, you could attract a guide that would be very helpful to bring in a more positive influence in your life. Would you agree?
Absolutely. 100%. I know that we have our select one or two or three that from birth, right? They're with us. We've made this agreement before we got here. They're with us from beginning to end, right? Um, However, when we make transitions in our life, when we start new projects, big projects, I mean, even little projects, probably, but we get others come in for those purposes just to kind of help us out. And when I was at Arthur Finley in 2019, you start out the day at 9 a.m. and you do you all sit in meditation for like 30 minutes, right?
Mm.
In that 30 minutes on my first day, boom, I had 3 new spirit guides come in
Wow.
specifically for this journey to with the mediumship, with this spirit work. And I've had others in the past where I knew that they were there, and when I was finished with that particular leg of life, they were like, "Okay, thanks, you don't need me anymore."
Mhm.
You know?
It's funny because when I just like you, when I was working on a project, in my business, as a medium and intuitive, I think I was working on a course that I was going to be teaching, and I was in meditation, and a spirit guide came to me, and I even did a post on about this on TikTok or Instagram, where a spirit guide came right like a bullseye right into my mind's eye. And it was a woman, and she goes, "Hey, my name is Betsy, and I'm your new spirit guide, and I'm going to be helping you with this project that you're working on. But I got to go right now, but I'll see you soon." And then poof, she just left. It was so quick. So that was a recent experience of mine with the spirit guide. But I would have never picked the name Betsy for a spirit guide name. So, I mean, we don't know our guides' names sometime until they give it to us,
Yeah.
right? They give us their name.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to get across too. We feel that it's important for guides to let you know uh,
Mhm.
their name or how to call them, how to bring them in.
Absolutely. When I met my main guy, I call him my manager. His name is I call him MJ.
MJ.
Um, in 2007, I was running through Dreamy Draw Park in Phoenix, and I stopped at the top of this big boulder, and I sat there and I just went into meditation. And I disappeared. And all of a sudden, in my mind's eye, I see this big hill in front of me that went up to the left, and this path that came from behind it up to me. And here comes this man walking around this path towards me. And he was dressed in safari gear. Like he looked like he would be a guide tooling you through the desert in the Sahara in Africa, right?
Oh my goodness.
And so he was talking to me about what I came here for, what we're doing together, what he's helping me with, telling me a lot about this work in the future. Well, future back then, now, and it was really fascinating. And I asked him his name, and he the name he said was like it sounded like Maharaja. And I said, "Can you tell me again? Can you?" I asked him like 5 times, Maharaja, and I said, "Can I just call you MJ?"
Hey.
And that was perfect. At the end of this experience, I said, we were getting ready to say our goodbyes. And I said, "But wait, I have one more question. Why are you wearing those clothes?" He said, "Well, you're the one that said we're going on an adventure." And
He just dressed for it.
yeah, he totally dressed for it. So after that, I've always had this skeptic in my mind. Am I making it up? Is it real? When I met my guardian angels and I asked them their names, Elijah, Josiah, Gabriel, and you get their names. It's the first name that comes into your head and you don't second guess it. And then afterwards you say, "You know what? Give me proof. Show me evidence." And they'll show you. And in synchronicity after synchronicity, suddenly let's say you're driving through town and there's a license plate in front of you that says Elijah or whatever your name, whatever your guide's name is,
Yeah,
it happens all the time. So
I
it's
love
a
it.
name.
I
Yeah,
love it.
it's really
And
cool.
and to add to that, we can actually share spirit guides because I know my girlfriend, there's a couple of us that are real tight, on the East Coast that I visit, and we all not only have our own guides, but I believe we have like a group guide, a group spirit guide.
Oh,
And
sure.
once again, the name is North Star, and people might identify that too as their guide, which is fine. I mean, but North Star, when you mentioned the license plate, that's when I went out because every time I see North Star on a license plate on the back of a camper, apparently it's the name of a camping company, because it's just like it starts popping up everywhere, knowing that I think our guides come, Jeffrey, and tell me if you feel this too. I feel like they really do. They're aware of what we're going through, and they're either here to
Real.
give us a message or when we're having a difficult time.
Yeah,
I mean, they are here to really give us some backup, right? Give us some support.
totally. Super support. And that's what I ask often, hold the space with me. Hold the space for me. I need extra support right now. I'm having a really down day. Please hold the space, what do you think about crossed over loved ones being guides?
I believe that. I don't believe all of our loved ones are our guides. I
Yeah.
believe that there might be a particular one person, probably, and
Mhm.
sometimes it's a grandmother, or mom, a dad.
Yeah.
I do believe that our loved ones can be a guide for us.
Hmm.
But having said that, I do believe I still have like my main guide, like you have MJ.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still
Hmm.
have my like main guide. But I do believe our loved ones can. I think that can happen. Yeah,
Yeah. I absolutely think. I mean, I I guess in my mind, I wouldn't actually call them a guide, like a spirit guide, like the guides that we know of that we have for
yeah,
life.
right.
But I know they love to be with us and help and nudge and guide in their little ways. Like we guide each other,
Yes,
together through life.
yes,
Very
and
similar.
our animals too, I
Oh my
think can be
gosh.
our guides, right? I was
Yeah.
just looking at my cell phone with my dog's picture on it, and it's like it just starts you start tearing up, but it's definitely a soul connection. I do believe animals have this unique, extraordinary, unconditional love where they are very powerful. Yeah.
Oh, completely. That unconditional love is what powers this whole thing.
Yeah.
So it powers all of this work.
Yeah.
And to have that is it's everything. It's everything in this work. I one of the very first practice readings I did when I decided that mediumship was where I was going, what I was supposed to do, it was a no-brainer. I couldn't possibly have any more messages from spirit. The very first practice reading I did, this little white
Oh.
Scottish terrier. Are they white? The Scotties?
Yes, 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 most of them. Yeah.
One of those little white, whatever it was
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And he just went right past me. And it's the first time I had experienced it. And I've said it. And my sitter started laughing and she goes, "That dog of mine is actually my gatekeeper." So I find it so
Oh,
fascinating that he was, zooming around and having the zoomies
how
as
beautiful.
his way of saying welcome.
Yes, how beautiful.
Yeah.
And not only spirit guides and animals, but angels. I see someone had mentioned they have angels as guides. I do believe that. I know when I was moving, one of my times that I was moving, from one house to another, I needed X amount of dollars. I just needed some money, some cash on hand. And I asked my angels. I don't know why I was drawn to ask them, but I asked them. And sure enough, however it worked out, I was able to acquire enough money by moving time to make it happen. So it doesn't have to be um, any big request. I mean, for me, that was a big request, but it can be help finding missing items, which I do all the time with my angels. It can be help manifesting, it could be help
Yeah.
healing, it could be help supporting or calming us down. A lot of people have anxiety, with the changes happening. So it can be very helpful in that way, very calming to connect to your guides.
Totally. You know, Here's the thing. It's like any relationship in life, it's a two-way street. So you talk to them, open a dialogue, an ongoing dialogue with them, and you'll start to feel that presence, that love, that connection.
It is a relationship,
Mhm,
definitely. It's
mhm.
definitely a relationship. I know I'm sure you do this too, but for anyone who's interested in developing and strengthening their relationship with their guides, like you just said, talk to them and talk to them every day.
Mhm,
Every day. Talk to them when you're in the car, right? Talk to them
mhm.
when you're doing your dishes or whatever, you're cleaning house even. Talk to them when you're having problems, when you're having fun. I
Uh-huh.
know I talk to them when I garden
Yeah.
outside, so
And when
yeah.
you're angry, vent,
When you're angry.
vent to them. So Keith asks what is the best meditation to work with to meet your guides? Before this actually started, I was actually thinking this weekend I'm gonna create a meditation to work with your guides. So I will post that this next week. But
Oh,
for me, like, there are guided meditations out there. You can Google, guided meditations to meet your spirit guide. And those are awesome.
mhm.
For me, I just like to sit with my headphones on and just go with myself. You know what I mean? Without somebody telling me where to go or what to do. Um, and that's kind of what happened when I was on that little mountain. I just sat down and all of a sudden, poof, here he was.
Do you listen to music or the quietness
Yeah.
with the
No, I
headphones?
listen to like the Zen music, like um meditation music,
Yeah.
or like crystal bowls, singing crystal bowls. I love those too.
So for Keith, that's a great question, Keith, and Jeffrey just said the headphones, and really, I think for anyone wanting to develop a connection with their guides, headphones just make it so much more intense or accessible, or they make you so much more aware, right? They
Yeah.
in some way, they're just opening you up because that's where your energy is. Your energy is in the present with those headphones.
Completely. And when we go into this with that intention set, they know what you're going in for, and they're going to meet you. They will absolutely meet you. And when you ask their name, I'm serious, the first thing that pops into your head
It
without
it
question.
it comes before the thought.
Totally.
It
Yeah.
comes before you're even thinking about it.
Hmm.
It just slips in.
Hmm.
And as soon as you think, "I just heard a name," then that's the name. That's the name. Isn't that
And
adorable?
try not to judge it, because there are so many that, like, some have Bob, some have Henry, you know and they're like, well, Bob, really?
I
We expect
I
some glamorous, mystical name.
No, I had Betsy, and I not that I don't love the name Betsy, and there's nothing wrong with the name, but I just thought, "Aha, I never would have thought that, nor do I know anyone with that name," so it even made it more concrete or real to me because I never really use that name in a daily basis or in
Yeah,
a reference of my friends, so that even made it more real to me, that it
yeah,
really did kinda come out of nowhere, but that's where it came from.
completely. Yeah, yeah. This is a great comment. Hi, Joy.
Hi, Joy.
When I was little, I had a guide or angel walking with me. I saw him so clearly. Everyone called him my imaginary friend. His name was Joey. Allison. Oh, I love Allison. She read for me and said, Joey says hi. Oh,
Aw.
yeah,
Confirmation and validation.
it's awesome.
That's just wonderful, and that he's still with you.
Yeah,
That's beautiful. So
yeah.
definitely with you in your current life, Joy, and what a beautiful relationship you have together with Joey. Aw. But yeah, I
Mm.
meditate listening to music and I meditate or in the quietness. But I do write down some questions beforehand or like the day before, or I talk to them before. And like you said, it's about setting the intention, right? We want to
Oh,
set
yeah.
the intention. Like, I'm gonna ask my guide's name today, but then you have to let it go. So all those questions and all the things you wanna know about, don't hold on to them. When you meditate, you have to really receive and allow what's to come through because it may even be more important information at the time that they're trying to get across to you. So be open to something different to come through because that's their voice. That's what they wanna say.
Yeah. After I got my guardian angels names, the first one I got was Elijah. And I asked, well, show me proof. Give me some evidence that's your name and that I'm not making this up. And when we ask for proof like that, it's not on our time frame. So
Oh,
it doesn't happen that day. I mean, it may not, it could, but generally it's on their time frame. So I think about a week went by. And this particular day, we had all finished work and it was a Friday, and everybody's like, let's go to happy hour at wherever we went. And it was a place that I hadn't been. And we get there and everybody's bellied up to the bar. And so I sat down wherever I sat down. Wine has always been my drink. I've not really been a big hard liquor drinker that often. So I don't really notice those bottles, All of a sudden, right from where I was sitting at this bar I had never been to, I just happened to look. It was like somebody took my chin and did this.
that happens.
And my eyes went straight across from me. And there is this bottle of Elijah Scotch or whiskey or whatever it is.
Hmm.
And I didn't know there was that brand of liquor,
Incredible.
right? But and I just sat there and I was speechless. I was like, oh, it's real.
It is real because I do believe they kind of influence us, whether we hear them or we see them or we sense them. I do feel like there's that vibration of energy where you do feel like they're moving your chin, or for some reason you're looking up and you don't know why, and then you see the bottle. You don't know why you're moving this direction. And then when it happens, it's just amazing. It probably went right through you, it goes right to your heart.
Oh,
You
completely.
feel it, you're like, "Oh my god, this
Yeah.
is breathtaking."
Yeah. Yeah. And I was taken, because then I was kind of like speechless. And my friends around me were like, what's wrong with you? And so then I just explained what just happened. And they're like, okay, you're freaking us out right now.
Gosh,
But
that's a joy.
let's see. We've got some comments.
Yeah, thank you, Joy, for your, question and for your comment, and look, how many guides do you think we have? How many spirit guides do you think we have? And, yeah, it's always been a big, I get asked that a lot, not as much anymore, but I used to get asked that a lot more.
Um, so I think, well, it changes, like we talked about earlier. It changes through life, right? And I think the more that you're doing in life, the more assistance you have.
Yeah.
Um, when I do roll call, every day when I call everybody in, we have our little powwow or little meeting. I mean, it's roll call. It's like, 14 or 15 names that I'm calling in.
Yeah,
Um, but they change. Yeah, they change. And it's not always that many. How
it's
about
true.
you?
When I meditate, my roll call looks like a campfire, and we're all sitting around a big campfire, and they come in and we greet each other, and then everyone goes and takes a seat and we all sit in meditation. Sometimes we hold our hands or sometimes not, but we're all giving each other energy or connecting with the eyes.
I love that.
Yeah.
Mine's around a campfire too on the beach.
This is great.
That's so cool.
Probably the same beach.
So JR says, when I was small, I was pulled out of a pool and heard a whisper in my ear, not now. Ooh. And I'm here. There was no one around. Wow.
That's divine intervention,
Absolutely. Hmm.
JR, and certainly a guide that was with you and knew exactly what to do, and to know that you could remember it too, JR,
Hmm.
What
That's
an
awesome.
experience to have.
That's really awesome. And Sarah asks, is your guardian angel your guide?
Thanks, Sarah, that's a great question.
It is a great question. You want to go first?
Sure. I would say that Sarah, I mean, Sarah, just to feel Sarah's energy for a moment, because it feels like she's a real deep thinker. It feels like she's very insightful. Sarah, just to tell you, you feel very sensitive. Perhaps you're an empath. But I think your guardian angel is your guide. It can be a guide for you. I know that your guardian angel looks out for you, always has your back, so to speak. But yes, I do believe your guardian angel can be a guide for you, certainly, or is one of your guides.
Yeah. I mean, why not? You know, we know we have guardian angels. We know we have guides. They're all kind of doing their thing. Some of them are more of a protective mode, but I think they're all of protective mode. They're all of um, you know, helping us grow,
Mhm.
nudging us in the direction that we need to go. Yeah.
I believe that, uh, so much to say here, but there's lots of guides for a lot of reasons. You know, they use Ganesh to remove obstacles. You know, I always go to Archangel Michael whenever I need anything big kind of thing. If I don't know who to talk to, for example, I go right to Archangel Michael. So you can certainly go to angels and ask them for help because they are guides as well. Um, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Kathy says on October 2nd, feast day of our guardian angels, you can ask their name. Amen. They will tell you. Happened to me on October 2nd.
We're going to mark our calendar.
What is October 2nd?
I don't know. It's the
Hmm.
thing. I don't know.
Kathy, if you're still here, will you type in the chat what is October 2nd for us? Yeah.
Another thing, yeah, another thing is people sometimes ask me, you know, in my readings with people, because I do medium readings or psychic readings, and they ask me, they feel like they're asking for too much, or they don't want to ask for too much. They want to save some favors for later, so to speak, or they don't want to bother their guides. What do you say about that? Like, I don't want to bother them all the time. You know, how do you answer someone like that
No,
question?
they're not bothered. I don't feel that they're ever bothered. There's so much more. Like we can't even wrap our human brains around the other side. You know, it's just so much. It's so vast. It's timeless. It's they can be in so many different places at once. The soul is so expansive
Mhm.
and omnipresent and
Mm.
omniscient, and you know what I mean. It's just it's
Mhm.
and they are so no. We they signed on, and we need them every 5 minutes. Call. That's what they're there for.
They are,
Totally.
and also, I believe that in some way we're helping them evolve too, right? Do you believe that in some way we're helping them by connecting with them, by sending them our love, by sending them gratitude, for asking for help? I think in some way, not only are they there to help us, but in some way, the joy that they get from it is helping them. You know, it helps fulfill their purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's a way for them to grow as well, you
Mm,
know, in their spiritual involvement.
mhm,
You know, I read years ago that spirit guides are beings who have lived on Earth in the past.
mhm,
Um, so they get it. You know, they totally they understand the frustration. They understand how difficult it is. They understand the fear that we experience,
mhm.
the anxiety, the doubt, the veil where we completely forgot who we are, who we truly are. You know what I mean? They
Yeah,
get it,
yeah.
and that feels very accurate to me.
Very accurate. And, you know, a lot of people are old souls, so to speak, especially everyone, you know, having these awakenings right now on the planet. There are a lot of new souls, but old souls. And I just feel that our guides are actually, I mean, some of my guides are older, or at least I address them as older, and some of them are younger. Some, you know, I have a very young Native American girl that I feel is a guide for me. I have an older male Native American who's kind of a medicine man feeling. So, I mean, this is how I approach, and I know when I go to study herbology or essential oils, even, I mean, I love all of that, right? I feel in some way I'm tapping into a part of my soul's existence that lived in that past life, that maybe lived with these people who are now my guides,
Mhm.
right? I may have had a lifetime with them.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely, that feels accurate to me too, completely. You know what? Ness has a question here. I just saw it go by. Where? Oh, here we go. Ness asks, when I park, my dog freaks out and barks a lot. Why is she terrified to be alone in the car? Her dog is Coco.
Hi, Ness.
Hi, Ness.
Should we tune in,
Yeah,
Jeffrey?
yeah. Yep.
I
Go.
mean, first off, I want to say that Coco feels that she's very dependent on you, or that a separation anxiety. But also, I get a sense of not she doesn't like being closed in.
That's
Did
what
I
I was
add?
feeling.
Did you
Mhm.
feel that
Yep.
also? Being closed in, or even the heat, because it's stuffy. It's like stuffy, closed in feeling. And also, she doesn't feel as secure is what I'm hearing, and I wouldn't be surprised if Coco was either, afraid of fireworks, since we have the fireworks, upon us at this time of year, or lightning storms. Yeah, so you probably do help her when you, feed her a treat or when you pet her. I know that calms her down.
Mhm.
Yeah, what about you, Jeffrey?
Yeah, I feel the anxiousness as well. I feel the like you were saying, it was that being enclosed in there, and they don't understand time the way that we do. So time for them, eh, well, I mean, we've experienced it with our dogs. We're gone for 15 minutes and we get home and they greet us like we've been gone for all day. You know what I mean?
Truly, truly.
So I think that Coco is Coco an anxious puppy, Ness?
Oh, she says, Coco does not like loud noises.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, I could feel that even if the windows were down in the car with all the noise of the traffic going by. So even though there's fresh air in the car, so to speak, it's still the busyness that I feel, it's almost overwhelming. And that also Coco's job is to be a guardian for you, or to be a protector for you, Ness, or, to be there to protect you is what I want
mhm,
to say.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Ness. Kathy, I saw Kathy. Kathy answered our question, Cheryl.
What did Kathy say? Oh, it's the feast day of our guardian angels in the Catholic faith. Oh, how wonderful. Well, we'll have to mark that then.
Yeah.
I think that's a wonderful way to celebrate.
I love that. I'm not Catholic. I've been to Catholic masses in the past.
Mhm.
But and one thing I love about the Catholics, I love ritual. And like that, the feast day of the guardian angels. I'd never heard of that. That's like something that I would totally like throw a crystal grid on the floor and, invite
I
the angels in.
don't know why we haven't heard that before.
Yeah, I love that.
Can we look at Lisa Keller's question? She
Yeah,
was wondering if her spirit guides and angels have any messages for you. I
absolutely.
I do wanna tell you, Lisa, because I just, once again, spirit caught had my eye catch your question as it was passing through, and I'm hearing that you're doing too much. You're doing too much, and that to make space for yourself, or to make time for yourself, and a nice way to do it, Lisa, is to kind of lay out your goals or write them down. But I just feel in some way you can get very occupied with other people's energy. And I just feel spirit saying there's something about you're supposed to step on more to your own path. It's almost as if, do things for yourself first, make time for yourself first. And that way, when you do work with others or help others, there's more of you at that point, because you already have that reserve tank of joy and happiness.
Yeah. My first my first hit was the self-care.
Self-care.
The self-care, you know, soaking in a salt bath
Ooh,
to
yeah.
clear the energy, to clear your space. Yeah.
You know, and why a salt bath? Just for anyone listening that, a salt bath is really good, but, like, why are you recommending, like, Epsom salt or does that help relax the muscles? Does it
So
help, like, clear
so
the
the
energy field?
salt is a great energy cleanser. The
Energy cleanser.
salt, yeah, the salt in the water along with the maybe essential oils, like maybe some lavender,
Nice.
but not a lot because I did too much once and it burned. So
Oh,
don't use much. or just get the salts that already have it in there because that's not very much. But yeah, the salt actually helps cleanse our energy, our
nice.
what we are out amongst the day. We are cruising through life through all a bunch of people, their energy, and we might be not having a great day,
Yes.
and
Yes.
having just those negative thoughts that catch us from time to time, and we're just cranky and or angry or upset at somebody, and that also will help clear that.
Yeah, just release
Mhm.
all the stuff we bring home with us, that's not our stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Lisa. Okay, so we had another one. Here we
I love
go.
talking about spirit guides. This is so much fun.
I do too.
I think we're all probably gonna be meeting new guides soon here talking about it. It's as if we're inviting them in, aren't we?
Right.
They're playing. It's like, "Let's
Everybody here must have a a new greeting happening real soon. So Gina would like a message from her guides. I'm gonna
Mhm.
pull a couple cards.
Yes, please. Can I just say first off, Gina, what I'm hearing right off the bat for you is to not be hard on yourself. So I don't know about you're putting extra pressure or something on yourself, but not being so hard on yourself. If anything, try to make your daily practice of, as we mentioned, self care and comfort, but it is about, physically trying to relax also, whether you take deep breaths or go for a walk. But think about that as well, Gina.
Yeah, you know what, Gina? I feel this, I guess I want to call it tension or stress. There's a feeling of angst. Do you understand that, Gina? Does that make sense to you? There's this sense of like, surrender is what I want to say. There's
Mhm.
this sense of surrender that
It's a
I,
good
I
word.
I keep hearing. Yeah, and it's not so much about like giving up, but more about letting go, like letting go of the outcome.
Mhm.
Is Gina still here?
I feel like I am running out of time. So, yes, angst.
Oh,
Yeah, she has angst. She feels like she's running out of time.
oh, yeah. That surrender to that, because ultimately you are where you are supposed to be.
Mhm.
So you know what? Ask your guides to hold the space around that.
And there's a great affirmation by Dr. Wayne Dyer that always helps me when I feel like I'm in a rush or I'm running out of time or however much like that affirmation would be, I have all the time in the world. I have all the time that I need. I have more than enough time. I have more than enough time to get things done. Everything's working out to my advantage, right? Affirmations can kind of help settle that angst, I hope. What are you smiling?
Are you
No.
ready? So look at this card that just came out.
What does it say? You'll have to read.
Surrender and release,
Surrender and release. Oh, Lord.
along with Archangel Michael.
Holy cow. And all that light was the first card you showed had so much light above her head coming in.
Yeah.
So much, like an awakening happening.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. So Archangel Michael, Gina, can also help us cut with that sword that we see him with in all the paintings and all the art.
Yes.
Ask him to cut the cords between you and that fear that you have, the fear of running out of time, that angst that you're feeling. And that will also help. After that cord is cut, ask Archangel Raphael to fill that severed cord with his green healing salve. And
It
that's
is
very,
true.
very
Anytime
helpful.
we release or surrender something, when we remove something, we want to fill it with something positive and loving. So that was beautiful, the Archangel Raphael.
Oh, she says, yeah, feels like giving up, a true letting go. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um,
I feel like Gina, you're on your way through a breakthrough, is what I'm hearing. A breakthrough moment.
mhm. Evan says, do our animals on the other side take the form in which we knew them here, or do we see them as energy?
I can say both to that, really. I mean, I know I see my animals as energy, but I also see them in the form that they were in when they were living. And then I also feel the new cat that's part of our family now is somehow my dog from that crossed over, because this cat just acts like a dog. I'm like, this is my dog. I don't know if that's funny or not, but I've never had that experience.
That's interesting. So, with reincarnation,
Yeah.
do you suppose that your dog may have come back as this cat to be
I
with you?
I believe my dog is contributing to this cat's relationship with me, because I feel like the cat has their own soul, so to speak, or has their own reason for living or in some way. But I believe my dog is with this animal and presenting. I think my dog's in there somewhere, I think, but I think my dog is also presenting the love that this cat acts like my dog. Things that my dog used to do, my cat is doing. Interesting, right?
Yes.
And the cat found us. We didn't adopt. The cat came walking up our driveway one day and said, "You're my family."
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, you know what? I see them too. I see them as energy, and I see them in the form that they were.
Oh, good.
Especially in readings, I usually see them in the form that they were, because as an identifying factor, I can say, hey, here comes this little white Scottish terrier,
Mhm.
or whichever. Um, there's oftentimes, you'll see your pets that have crossed over the corner of your eye. It's you don't see them
Truly,
full on, but
truly.
it just catches you in the periphery that.
That word.
And that's them. That is absolutely them. The stories I love too are the ones where, you know especially for those of us where our dogs and our cats sleep with us,
Yeah.
those animals where they're experiencing the weight of their pet on their bed. They feel the little
Amazing.
footsteps, the paw prints go across the bed, or
Mm.
it's awesome. It's very real.
Can I add to Evan's reading here? Because Evan, I felt birds with you. So I know you must have birds on your totem pole or as a spirit guide. And also, I felt a peacock bird with you. So I don't know if that resonates. I'd love to hear you mention it in the comments section if that resonates with you. But I felt birds with you, and then also the peacock, which is a beautiful bird,
Mm.
very much Egyptian.
Well, we're talking about spirit guides. We do have animal guides as well, animal totems,
Yeah,
um,
we do.
and that's a whole other conversation.
But
Mm.
Jeffrey, is, when we work with our guides, they're so funny. It's as if they want us to do is laugh and be happy, and that they will present you with the sense of humor that they have. I mean, they are hilarious. They're so funny, and, I just feel that's the level that they vibrate at naturally. They are on the unconditional love, the divine love, the joy, to the nth degree. They are about no pressure. They are about how can we help you? How can we serve you? How can we
Yeah,
support you? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, I saw this question from Louis. Since we were just talking about that, do you
Yeah.
believe a pet can come back in our lifetime
Yeah.
again?
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I absolutely do.
I
Why
believe it.
not? Mhm.
Yes, exactly. I hate to say I would not want to say no to that. Um, Only because of my experience, but also I know that the soul of an animal can absolutely probably come back very quickly if they so choose, and,
Mhm.
maybe can present themselves as another type of animal even if that's what they want. Uh, but that's a great, great question, and it sounds like you've thought of that, Lewis. You have thought about this. I hope you're doing well, Lewis. It's like, "Hi, Lewis." But
Yeah.
yes, it sounds like you have thought about this one yourself.
Yeah, I've had that. I've questioned that in the past. I have golden retrievers are my thing. I'm on my fifth one now, so I have number 4 and number 5 right now.
Oh,
And my first golden retriever, um, her name was Goldie, and my third, named Aspen, they had so many of the same traits,
mm,
and there was almost this knowing about her, and I would just look at her, and I would ask her, are you Goldie? And yeah. So whether she is or not, I couldn't answer that. I'm too close to the situation. But yeah,
it's, these are good questions, and the
they are.
questions open up the opportunities for answers, and the questions open up your energy field too. So it's all good.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, Evan says,
Hi, Evan. We
always that
always
parakeets.
Yep. Ah,
Uh, the peacock is his favorite symbol of the divine.
wow. Isn't that beautiful? That's
Thank
so
you.
true. That's so lovely. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, let this be a validation for you, Evan, for your reading today.
Mhm, mhm.
Yes, there's a beautiful movie, A Dog's Life is, I don't know if someone just typed that in. I don't know if you've seen that or
I
not,
thought
but
so.
for anyone that hasn't seen it, it's a beautiful movie. It's a memorable movie about the soul and animals and yes.
Is it a crier?
In the end, but it's a
Yeah.
happy cry. It's a
It's a happy cry. Oh, yeah, yeah, I'm a crier. So anything happy,
okay,
anything love-filled, I mean, yeah, I'm a crier. So I do remember seeing that, and
okay. Yeah,
whew, yeah. It's a
yeah,
beautiful movie.
yes.
Beautiful. Um, okay, let's see. Anybody else got any other questions? I'm sure there are others that wanna hear from their guides.
I think our spirit guides are here to let us know that we're not alone. Like, a lot of times we do feel lonely in the world, and I think they're here to support us and let us know we're not alone.
Yeah.
So if you really need help for anyone or if your friends need help, ask them that. Call in your guides, call in your spirit guides. Hi, Lynn.
Hi, Lynn. Lynn would love a message from her guides.
Um, okay, I'll just tell you, Lynn, the first thing that I get with you is and you let me know through the comments, Lynn, but the first thing I get is that you're either planning, either moving or there's something around you in finance, all right? Because I do feel a flow of income coming to you, but I feel like you've been working towards this, you've been planning for this. I don't know if you're wanting to be in a relationship or if you already are. I'm not sure of that. But what I'm hearing for you, Lynn, is that love is coming to you also. So this is, Lynn, you're very patient. Like I'm hearing you've been patient and quiet for a very long time. And now it's kind of coming your way, right? You know, when we're slowed down during the COVID time, but it's like you've been patient for a long time. Now things are starting to flow and happen for you. That's what I'm feeling for you from your guide. And I felt like you had a male guide. Not that it should matter. It doesn't really. I mean, I think some guides are androgynous, right? Some guides are not even people. Some of them are animals, as we mentioned. They're lights, they're colors, they're sounds, even.
Mm,
It could be a vibration.
totally. Yeah. Lynn, I was feeling like there's something that you've been working for. There's
Mm.
something that you've been working towards. And Cheryl hit it when she said patience. And that was going to be my advice. Just about taking a deep breath and allowing it to manifest in its own time. And the divine timing card
Oh,
came out
goodness.
for you.
Gosh.
Okay. So yeah. Yeah, and it feels really amazing. Like it feels like this, like a goal that it is should be celebrated, is what it feels like. I hope you understand this, Lynn. I hope she's still here.
Yeah. And yeah, I hope so too. I hope so too. Also, that when we write down our questions for our guides, not that you always have to write them down, but it's something about it's something about getting your question out on paper that kind of clarifies it. Because sometimes we think we mean one thing, but we're really asking for something else. Maybe if you spend a moment, or for anyone, just to take a suggestion, writing it down might help clarify it to where when the answer is presented to you, you understand it. Yeah. You're like, "Oh, that's exactly what I asked for."
Yeah. Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, I hope Lynn's still with us.
Yeah.
And let us know Jeffrey, what cards are you using to read? Because those are beautiful cards.
You know what? These are old school.
They're old school?
These are old school
Okay.
Doreen Virtue.
Oh, okay.
I
All
mean,
right.
these go
Great.
way back.
I love Doreen. Well, the classics,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
oldies
Total
but goodies.
classics.
Oh, those are I have those.
And that's old school.
Those are the ones. I love those.
Yeah, I love the cards. They're pretty and they're fun to play with. And
Yeah.
okay. Lizzie. Hi, Lizzie.
So right away, Lizzie, when I tune into you, I do feel you have animals around you as guides. And I want to say they're telling me that you spend time outside in nature. And there's something about the water being very important for you. I almost feel like at one time you either lived by the water, maybe you want to live near the ocean again, but you resonate very much with the emotion and the sensitivity of water. I really feel like your path ahead of you, this is what I'm feeling from your animal guides, is something about wisdom and enlightenment ahead of you. But what does that really mean? It means for me, how I'm interpreting this is that you're starting to be an attractor, like you're attracting and you're this magnet to things you want to attract, because I'm feeling encouragement for you. Like, keep going. You're on a roll here. Keep going. That's what I'm getting. What about you?
Yeah, and I feel like too that Lizzie is in somewhat of a transition, and it feels like a spiritual transition. I
Mm.
feel like that, Lizzie, you've been opening up in ways that you have yet to experience. Does that make sense? It feels to me like there is again, coming from your guides,
Mhm.
it feels like that they've been trying to get your attention, kind of pinging you with synchronicities that make you go, oh, that was weird, or really catches your attention. Um, but I'm definitely feeling the signs. You've been pinged with signs from your guides. And as I'm saying that, I keep seeing like a lamp flickering. Do you understand this, Lizzie? There's
Yes, she's on
She's
her
on
own
her
spiritual
spiritual journey.
journey.
Okay, yeah.
For an animal for you, Lizzie, I'm getting a frog, and it's very cute. It's like, oh my goodness, I see a frog with you, Lizzie. And this frog, if we think about it, they're very well equipped. They take everything that they need with them, so to speak, and they can travel lightly. What we have, so it does feel like there's some part of you that maybe opening up to your own inner wisdom more is what's happening. Like there's more of a knowingness. You know how people you don't need to ask a lot of questions anymore. It's almost as if you're getting these downloads or it's starting to come to you, as Jeffrey said, your spiritual journey.
Oh,
She says, yes, the lamp flickering was after my brother's passing. Oh, Jeffrey. Lizzie, lots of love.
yeah, lots of love to you, Lizzie. Um, isn't this fun, Cheryl?
Yeah. So do you believe that maybe her brother is a guide for her? I mean, just to put it out there, because we were asking if loved ones were guides earlier.
Yeah, yeah. I do absolutely feel that he's around her, trying to get her attention for sure,
Yeah.
and in a very playful way. It feels very playful and um almost like childlike. You know what I mean? That childlike energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It really, working with guides like this whole hour I've been with you, Jeffrey. I mean, I know people in the audience are feeling it too. I feel a little tickle, like the butterflies in your stomach or the excitement. Like you feel like we're receiving nourishment or love, or
yeah,
we're making the connection, right? We are connecting.
yeah. It's awesome, isn't it?
Yes.
Um, well, you know what? We've got 1 minute left, so
Okay.
we can go over a little bit. That's not a problem. But why don't we do like a collective, one
Okay.
last
Love to.
collective for the group?
Yes. So we're going to do a reading for the group. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Do you want to start?
Yeah. Yes. First of all, given the topic, this big hit just came in for me that everybody's guides are really making a point to want to be they want to be invited in a way where they have the opportunity to really give you a super sign.
A super sign.
A super sign. Make it obvious who you have, who's with you. Set that intention for yourselves.
Mhm.
Some of us can get information in our sleep. Some of us have that ability where I'm a huge dreamer, very vivid dreams, and I get a lot of visitation in my dreams.
Mm.
Guides, guardians, lots of dream work. So set that intention for yourself. If you're not a big dreamer, set that intention for yourself to sit silently with your
Mhm.
headphones on, with the
Mhm.
intention of meeting who is working with you.
Mhm.
It's amazing. And the card that came out for everybody is study. And it's really about um studying the energy of the guides that work with you, not
Mhm.
so much going to a book, but studying in your own way within the relationship back and forth.
Mhm. That feels like what exactly so now I'm picking up, because I was picking up harmony, and that just sounded like you were going right that direction as well. It's almost like you deserve to have a spirit guide. You deserve to have several spirit guides. Like, work with them. They are here for you. And there is a harmony or a harmonious resonance with it, a harmonic resonance. There is a joining of hearts, so to speak,
Yeah.
and that you will connect with them through that heart to heart communication. So really invite them in, invite them to be part of your life, get to know them. Ask maybe how you can connect with them. We connect through meditation, maybe through song. Even might be a nice way. If you're someone that likes to listen to a lot of music, you might hear their name through a song. So it is about really finding that, that it's an additional benefit to your life and to your soul, to help you realize that, your journey is very much not alone. You're not alone on this planet or in your evolvement as a soul, and that there's a lot of guides out there for everyone. We don't have a limited number of guides. I think we have an unlimited number of guides. It's just up to us to ask.
And be open and receptive.
Open and receptive.
Open and receptive. Yeah. Cheryl, thank you so much for being here with me.
It was just so much fun. The time just flies, right?
I know. It seems like it's been 10 minutes. And everybody, thank you all so much for joining us today. We're here every Friday at 4:30. And watch, if you haven't been to Cheryl's show, Seeing Beyond Living Transformed.
Right.
Fabulous. It's on Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. Pacific, right?
7 p.m. Pacific on Wednesdays. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can always find out more information through my website, Medium Cheryl, or the Seeing Beyond Radio website. But really, we love having Jeffrey on our show. So, Jeffrey, we're going to have you back really soon.
Anytime. Anytime. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, all right, you guys, you have a wonderful 4th of July weekend. Everybody be safe and be kinder than necessary.
Oof.
Because we never know what our neighbor could really be dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
What would love do? Just remember that.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, we'll see you again next week.